Hello and welcome back to Football Manager once again. We are now here for the Aston Villa fixture, and we will know that if we win 3-0 or better, we will go up to 4th place. Obviously knowing that Chelsea and Tottenham would have to then lose or draw. Aston Villa currently have 14th place and can drop all the way down to 17th if they lose by any number of goals. And Bristol City win, as well as Man City and Bournemouth either draw or win. But if Aston Villa win, we could actually see them rise to 8th or 9th, depending on whichever teams below us also win. So it could be a bit of an iffy game. Kelvin did pick up a tight Achilles injury, but he's completely cleared to play. He's not really that much at risk. Mario Augusto is now out for 3 games, which is horrific, and just proves my point. He won't be playing anymore this month because there is no more Champions League games this month, and he's suspended for 3 games for all English domestic competitions, 1, 2 and 3. So he won't be back until Feyenoord at the earliest, which you won't see anyway. You'll be back for Lazio and Southampton. No, Lazio versus Watford. I think I changed my mind there. Lazio versus Watford would be the better options, because you don't really want 2 home games in the same video. Although we're playing 2 away games in this video, I should have done West Ham and Feyenoord, but too late now. So, no big news, I don't believe anyway, in terms of anything in the last few days. No, nothing important. So yeah, that's it. We did get, obviously, as you saw, £750,000, a good bit of money into the club, but hopefully we'll have around about 30 to 40 million for the January window. So let's go into the match preview. I don't think I've made any changes to the side that drew with Feyenoord. Oh no, I put Tuanzebe in the team in for Yulla, and obviously Rafa can't play in this game because he's not registered, so he's out of the team as well. Hadji's back on the bench. Obviously Yulla's on the bench. I think that's it. I think I've made any other changes. So yeah, let's go and play Aston Villa at Villa Park. Of course, this is a game that we are expecting to win, like we expected to win against Feyenoord. But if we don't win against Aston Villa, it could actually see us into a bit of a rut in terms of form, which obviously wouldn't be good. We don't want that to happen. So I'm going to be assertive in saying that I want them to win. I'm expecting a win. So let's go out there and play. And we've literally started with a highlight. Never normally good, I must admit. But Jovanovski with the ball now on the right wing, just outside the Aston Villa box, plays it back to Doyle, now to Nato, forward to Jovanovski, who gets a shot away and scores. I've been made to eat my words once again, but this time in a positive manner. In 22 seconds, Jovanovski has possibly just broken the record for the fastest ever goal scored by a Millwall player. I'm not exactly too sure, because I'll have to look at the record after the game, but 22 seconds. That is impressive. It's only his 2nd goal of the season, mind you, which is obviously an important milestone. We are now 3 months into the season, so he needs to be scoring a few more goals than just 2 every 3 months. But of course, if he continues to score goals in any form, it'll be great, as long as he gets assists as well, of course. But yeah, Jonathan now with the ball gets past Doyle, and the header from Torres goes just over the bar. That's not. He has to have retired by now. Okay, it's not. I just had to check it wasn't Fernando Torres, because I'm sure he's retired now in real life, let alone in 2026. So I just had to make sure. But Son Heung-min is on the field for Aston Villa. Unfortunately, no Glazen. Obviously we wanted to see him back for the return to Millwall, but he isn't playing today. The place goes to Son Heung-min, which is unfortunate, of course. They have got Ainsley Maitland-Niles at right back, who, if you're paying attention to football in the real world, will know that he has just been given a call up to the England national squad, which I think is very impressive for him, a 23-year-old making his debut after playing in the Champions League final, the Community Shield final against Liverpool, and I believe they won. I could be wrong. I just saw it was 1-1. One team obviously won on penalties, so I'm not exactly too sure. Anyway, Aston Villa now with the ball, playing it very high up in our half. Maitland-Niles gets the ball back, crosses it into Torres. Torres crosses it, and thankfully Jovanovski clears the ball to Louis Barry, who is tackled very unceremoniously by the defender. But Jovanovski takes the ball off of, I believe that was Jonathan, I think that was the player. Ball out wide now to Cengiz Yildirim, the replacement for Glazen. Barkley plays it forward to Yildirim again. Tries a cross, and at the far post, Nenad Jovanovski makes it 2-0, and his third of the season. And I am definitely going to hand out a bit of praise to Jovanovski, because in the last game he did not play well. I mean, you saw it, a 6.4 rating, not very good. So it's nice to see him score a few goals. Tuanzebe now to Eduardo, forward, plays it over the top, finding Jovanovski. Back, finding Kelvin, forward to Doyle, back to Kelvin again. Finding now Eduardo, plays it in the middle for Tuanzebe. His first game since September. Yildirim heads it down to Nato, puts the ball over the top for Barry, who's in and makes it 3. Millwall 3, Aston Villa 0, and we are now effectively guaranteed 4th place. And I have to admit, Villa Park looking a bit on the shabby side, I have to say, compared to what it was like in real life. I mean, I must say Aston Villa's Villa Park is one of the prettiest stadiums, I would have to say, in the real world. Obviously, this is coming as an Ipswich Town fan, so that could literally mean nothing to anyone watching this video, of course. Maitland-Niles, the free kick, headed in by Andresen, but wide of the post. Southampton are doing incredibly well, mind you, this season. 9 wins and only a single defeat to their name this season. 27 points they have got so far. We could very well be seeing a new Premier League champion this year. Yildirim now with the ball, plays it Barkley to Jovanovski. Jovanovski gets the ball to the edge of the box, shoots but wide of the post. I think the player I'm going to take off first will probably be Barkley for the second half, because he's not got a lot of condition or match fitness in him, so it might be safer to do so. Son Heung-min clears the ball long, only finding Sahajovic. Sahajovic with the ball now, plays it forward looking for Yildirim, who collects just outside the box and gets it past Maitland-Niles, and Louis Barry's headed down to Jovanovski does not end in a goal. Now Burton for Aston Villa, tackled very well by Tuanzebe. That was effectively the same sort of angle that Augusto came at. However, Augusto was taken from behind the player, not from the side of one. And as well as that, he had 2 feet coming in, not 1. Torres actually has picked up an injury, unfortunately, for Aston Villa, meaning that they've already had to be forced into making one of their substitutions. But, as you can see, 56% possession to Aston Villa. Clearly, we're doing something right with the little possession that we have. I will leave Barkley on for the time being. Probably take off around the 60th, 70th minute. Not sure yet. I will also probably take off Doyle and Kelvin. Kelvin to protect him from his Achilles injury, and Doyle because he is currently the worst playing player on the field. Plazzari plays the ball forward, finds Yildirim, who gets absolutely scythed down by Morales, who probably, that's a red card. Alfredo Morales gets himself sent off for a horrific tackle on Yildirim, and that leaves Aston Villa without an attacking left midfielder, meaning they are very weak down that left side, which, remarkably, is where they're coming from with this attack. Of course it is. Now then, Doyle with the ball, runs it forward along the byline, gets it straight past all the Aston Villa players using his pace. Barry now with the ball inside the box, gets a shot away, but it is cleared very poorly. Maitland-Niles does get the second clearance away, and it is safely away. I'm going to make 2 changes now in the 63rd minute, being Ross Barkley coming off for Roberto Lopez, who is coming back into the team for this game, obviously. And as well as that, we're going to bring off Kelvin to protect him from his injury for Erdogan, who really isn't getting that much game time this season. I think I should probably get some more into him. Malinaz with a corner kick headed away by Jovanovski. Nato now the ball. Plays it along the byline to be picked up by McGinn, who plays it forward, finding Dragomir. Back, finding Anderson. Now to Bielik, finding out wide Jonathan. Jonathan without anyone ahead of him, looking now back to the centre-backs, who gets very nearly tackled by Barry. Anderson plays it back to Bielik, now all the way back, finding the goalkeeper. Aston Villa are being played into a corner here, which is very good for Millwall. But the ball played over the top now to a player that surely is offside. Yeah, he's clearly offside there. He was at least 5 feet ahead of the last defender when the camera showed him. I'm going to make the last change around the 75th, 80th minute, something like that, just so you can actually see in the last few minutes who is actually playing best, who's playing not so great, and all that sort of thing. I'll make the change now, actually, and it is clearly Doyle who should probably come off, because he's the only outfield player not to have a 7 that was playing from the start. So Tishwan Thomas does come on for him, and we're just going to tell him there's no pressure on him, because we're 3-0 up, no pressure. Why would there be pressure? Annoyingly for Jovanovski, he hasn't got his hat-trick yet, but with 10 minutes left to play, he could still very well score a third, but it is looking unlikely. Anil Erdogan with a long throw into the box, NATO's header, and the ball is bobbling around, and apparently it's a free kick for an offside. Ooh, that looked very close. But apparently it was an offside decision, but I'm not too sure. Apparently Tuanzebe was offside, if they say so. That centre-back that's just come on for Aston Villa in the 81st minute, Jack Clothier, is actually a player we've been looking at and scouting for the last few weeks as a possible replacement for Tuanzebe when he moves on. Because Tuanzebe is wanted by a fair number of clubs, and he's getting to his 30s now, which means he's probably actually going to start declining in ability. But thankfully we have won today 3-0. It's the first win you've seen on camera for, well, since the last season, which is not great, I'll admit, but it's a good win for us, and it does put us in Champions League spots, I think. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm known for being wrong in these videos, as proven by the fact that, well, we didn't get Europa League 2 last season, we just got the Europa League last season, after we finished in, I believe, 6th place, which normally would have gotten us Europa League 2, but hey-ho. Weirder things have happened in football, of course. And apparently in the first division of Spain, La Liga, obviously they can't call it La Liga in Football Manager for some reason, Atletico Madrid are preparing for a visit to Sevilla. Whether that's important or not, I don't know. No major news, I don't think, from our loan out players. Gillingham, as you just saw there, are drawn with Boston, of course. Jack Kelly currently playing for Gillingham. No goals for Kultas or Sam Jones, who have actually been scoring a fair number of goals this season. Kultas just recovering from an injury quite recently, so that's probably a reason why. And unfortunately, Paul Robinson, an ex-goalkeeping coach for Millwall, for me at Millwall, has unfortunately now been sacked by Port Vale. And it's an unfortunate part of the game, but it's expected if you don't have good results. George Boateng. I was like, Jerome Boateng. That was a very odd signing for them. But no, it's George Boateng has been sacked by FC Halifax, which arguably I'd say is a bit of an odd decision. They're not at risk of relegation. No more than 5 seasons ago, they were in the National League at threat of relegation. Arguably, I think he's done a fairly good job keeping them up. So, yeah, what can you do? Dennis Tintor, unfortunately, alongside Adam Lee, did lose to Bolton today. Speaking of Adam Lee, though, he's got 11 goals this season. He's looking to be a very good striker, and at 17, probably isn't far from being a first-team option. At least, maybe not for me, but definitely for a championship side. And apparently, Iban Nato managed to get man of the match despite the 2 goals from Jovanovski. and Anas Saladin, a player who I'm probably going to look to sell on at the end of this season. Yeah, definitely probably going to look to sell him on. He's on 30 grand a week. He's not really earning it, if you know what I mean. And despite playing 28 games for me, which is a fair number, 17 in his first season, mostly off the bench. Well, actually half and half really, but that season more off the bench than on the field to start with. Signed for £15 million, we could probably easily get around 30 million, I'd say, for him. He's still fairly young, he's Dutch. He has a potential to be a good player, but just not for me, I don't think. So, as I mentioned, in the next video you will be seeing Lazio and Watford here in December, which means we're completely skipping the month of November, because why not? Skip the month of November, no need to worry. We've got 2 Champions League games in there, meaning that if we were to beat Feyenoord and hold Real Madrid, we should, at least in theory, be guaranteed our qualification. Because I don't think Real Madrid are going to lose or draw with Lazio, and they're probably going to beat Feyenoord in the final fixture. So I think it would just be between us and Real Madrid to see who finishes top of the group. As well as that, we've got the Carabao Cup 4th round against Chelsea. I'm expecting a loss there, I'll admit it, I'm expecting a loss. As well as that, we've got Wolves, Brighton, Manchester United, Norwich, Bournemouth and Southampton in the league. In those games, I'm expecting to beat Wolves, Norwich, Brighton, Southampton, actually no, not Southampton, Bournemouth. But I'm expecting defeat against Man United and Southampton, especially this season Southampton, because somehow they have managed to turn themselves from a championship team last season by signing £53 million worth of players, which is very large, to being a Premier League leader, which is rather impressive, I have to admit, especially as they finished in the playoffs last season. So until next time, as I say every episode, I'll bid thee adieu. Goodbye.